तेरा साइड में डार्क लग रहा है फोन।
मेरे साइड में डार्क लग रहा है, 2 मिनट
हाँ, गोरा लग रहा है अभी। तू गोल वाला वो आइटम लेके है क्या जो टिकटॉक
हाँ।
पे यूज करते हो?
या
हाँ।
अभी तो कॉम्प्लेक्स मत में मत था कि मैं सेक्सी लग रहा है।
हम्म।
Hey guys, welcome to Pol Ki Pol. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. We are back again with Dhaval Rathod, which is Pagla Potta. Pagla Potta, how are you? It's been a while. I think we skipped a few weeks. So good to have you back. How are you?
Thank you so much. As I always say, Radha, this is my favorite podcast in the world, and always glad to be back. Past few weeks I actually have been very busy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, as you know, I work for a company that's undergoing an acquisition exercise right now. So
Mm-hmm.
there's whole lot of stuff going on that's keeping me busy. But I thought I
Mm-hmm.
finally had some, time off, and there's a whole lot of stuff that I wanted to actually discuss with you and everyone else. And we've been getting great feedback so far, from all our friends and everyone else who's been watching this podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy to do this again.
Yeah, that's good to have you. If I look at your headline, right? Like, could have been a Bolly Ghost journal. I think I told you this, but on my birthday, which was just last month, I went out to a restaurant and there was Taran Adarsh sitting like right in front of me, and it's like incredible. I just saw like I'm having my birthday dinner and just Taran Adarsh is just sitting over there. Now, I know he's not a Bolly Ghost journal, but he's a big figure in Bollywood. And if you remember, before social media, how we would just look at what Taran Adarsh had to say or the
Mm.
others had to say.
Mm.
Anupama Chopra, if I'm not wrong, that's her name.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then there is another guy. So these guys had so much power. And I saw him and he looks exactly the way he looks in every, TV show or even in the newspaper and all. So quite a
Mm.
surreal experience. But yeah, one day people are gonna be like, "Terko pata hai, maine Dhawal Rathod ko dekha." Because Dhawal, I think once you're done with the world of finance, I think you're definitely gonna go into Bollywood. You're gonna do something. We already know someone in our friend circle who has relatives in the Bollywood industry. So I think you already have an in over there.
And let's also, I mean, I don't know, I just enjoy, watching movies, and I also, like tracking the business in general. To Taran
Mhm.
Adarsh, as you said, he's not really a critic, but I think he's more of a Bollywood movie analyst or business analyst or industry analyst, whatever the term for that is, right?
Yeah.
Because he keeps on tweeting all these figures about which movie is doing better, how the opening has been, how much a movie's
Mhm.
gross over a weekend. And from a business standpoint also, I mean, I really enjoy tracking all of that. In fact, takes me back to our Bajaj days when I had picked up PVR exclusively as one of the uh, companies to track when we had that project in financial management, right?
Oh
So I
yeah.
thoroughly enjoyed doing that. Yeah, because I actually picked that on purpose because that's something of interest to me. So really don't know where this will go, but as long as I'm enjoying doing this.
Yeah, good to know. You just brought back like memories of like analyzing a company. My God, I'm so happy I'm no longer into that shit. Oh, I mean, never. I was never cut out for finance, man. Just never cut out for finance.
I
But
guess half the class wasn't, right?
yeah, but more than
Half the
half the
class
class
wasn't.
was in finance. That is also, which says a lot about everyone involved in that scam. Anyway, speaking of scams, I managed to watch Fast and Furious 10. I was calling it Fast X, and some people were like, it's Fast 10, not Fast X. I'm like, does it even matter what it is called anymore? It's a clown show of the highest order. But bro, मुझे बहुत मजा आया. Just watching Fast and Furious series is like my Salman Khan movie, but instead of Salman Khan, you have like Latin American banyan wearing Salman Khan, which is Vin Diesel. And from what I've heard, like unlike Salman Khan, Vin Diesel is okay with losing his hair, and he just made it part of his personality. Dude, like have you? I remember even you watched Fast 10. Like, what do you think about it?
I think the only thing that was missing in that movie was the Allah Duhai Hai soundtrack. If only they played the Allah Duhai Hai, Dhoom Machiye, what is the lyrics are? It would have been
Race,
awesome.
race,
Race.
race. It was race, dude. Dude, they
It is
have Dude, it was Abbas Mastan, the last twist. Let's not give any spoilers, but the last twist, ki, oh my god, ye to villain hai. is like completely Abbas Mustan. Like you, I mean, if Abbas Mustan instead of that guy, there was Saif Ali Khan and Ajay Devgan and others, you would have been like, "Hey, faltu Bollywood movie, kuch bhi dikha rahe." Hai." But because it is like it's a Hollywood production, you have Brie Larson in it, you have Jason Momoa in it. We have to give it that respect. I don't think we should. It's an Abbas Mustan movie, and you are absolutely right. We need that Allah Duhai soundtrack.
I mean, this movie is still better than a lot of other movies in the franchise. I still remember it was, I think, Fast and Furious 6, in
Hmm.
which they had this last. It was not a scene really, but this last part of the movie where there's a plane trying to take off, okay, over a runway, and these dudes just keep on fighting with each other, and the plane never takes off. Okay, so for 30 minutes straight, the plane just keeps going along the runway, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought to myself, what was happening? Okay, and spent a
yeah.
lot of money to watch it in IMAX. So I thought to myself, what was happening? But then, yeah, to what you're saying, Fast X. Even I thought it was Fast X, and I thought I was calling
Yeah,
it wrong the whole time, calling it
yeah,
Fast
yeah,
10.
yeah.
And I read this tweet somewhere that they should have called it Fasten Your Seat Belts. I think that would have been a good title for the
Yeah,
movie as
past
well.
10. Yeah, Roman numeral 10. That's
Exactly.
actually smart.
But this was a
That's
good,
smart.
well-made movie. I went to watch with one of our friends who also happened to bring his mom along. And mind you, she's a very regular Marathi mom. And well, anyway, she totally loved it. I mean, I asked
Okay.
Kaku if she liked it, and she said this is absolute fun because the cars were just flying all over. And she'd never
Yeah,
seen
it's
anything
a
like that.
yeah. No, I mean, if she has seen a Rohit Shetty movie, she's seen it all before. Let's be very honest. Like, dude, there was the scene I told you, right? Like two helicopters are trying to get Vin Diesel out,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
by like putting ropes into his car, and Vin Diesel manages to crash both of those helicopters. I'm like, bro, मतलब ये हो चुका है. मतलब this is like मैं कार्टून में भी देख लिया तो these are adult cartoons at this point. Let's be very honest.
Yeah, yeah,
These
yeah.
are adult cartoons, but
That was a
मजा
mad
आ गया.
scene, but fun to watch. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
या
Absolutely.
ब्रो जॉन सीना भी कैसे गया ना छोटा भाई सैफ अली खान टाइप की मैं
Yeah,
जा
out
रहा
of
भैया लाइक एंड या वेरी बॉबी देओल ऑफ हिम सॉरी ही इज जस्ट लाइक या ये दिस इज यहीं पे मेरी कहानी खत्म हो रही है भैया आप इन कुत्तों से बदला लेना मेरा इट वाज लिटरली दैट एंड आई
You know
थिंक
what
वी
the funny
नीड
part
इट
is? So, anyway, it's not a spoiler really, but there's going to be a second part to this movie, and it just struck me that you won't be able to see John Cena in the next movie, so you won't see
नाइस
him.
You were too. Good one, good one. Faltu jokes, I love them, love them. Speaking of faltu jokes, the Transformers ka naya movie is coming, Rise of Beasts. Are you going to watch it?
I haven't seen the trailer yet. Is the trailer out?
Yeah, so I saw it on Book My Show.
Mm-hmm.
Book My Show पे अचानक से I got a notification saying, hey, don't miss out on Transformers. The Beasts are coming, this and that. And I checked out a trailer on Book My Show, and it was like a typical Transformers trailer. दुनिया
Mm-hmm.
बर्बाद होने वाली है, and everyone is like Optimus Prime, हमको बचा लो. Like he's basically garage Shaktiman, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's a garage Shaktiman. So it is what it is. There's nothing new in this. Instead, like the whole thing is that it is based on jungles. Like in
Mm-hmm.
a jungle, there are like these beasts, right? And apparently, these beasts are all transformers, and they have
Mm-hmm.
stayed hidden for like like thousands of years.
Okay.
So it is what it is at this
You
point.
know, that's funny analogy you brought out. Comparing Shaktiman with Optimus Prime, because you think about it, at the end of every Shaktiman episode, there will be a choti choti magar moti baate, and then Optimus Prime also towards the end of the movie comes up with some lesson in life. Acha, kids remember to do this at the end of the movie. So I think you're spot on when you said he's actually Shaktiman.
I was reading about this on Twitter. People in Spain start working at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
They stop working at 2 p.m.
Hmm.
2:30 p.m. They stop working, and they sleep sometimes
Hmm.
in the afternoon, or they just start chilling.
Hmm. Hmm.
They take a break or something,
Hmm.
and 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock they go out with their friends. कि काम हो गया, काम हो
साढ़े
गया.
पाँच घंटा काम करते हैं.
या less than that.
So
चार
they
पाँच
get
बजे
paid
निकल
forward
जाते हैं.
5.5 घंटा.
4-5 बजे निकल जाते हैं ये लोग. And these people, then what they do every night without fail,
हाँ.
they chill with their
हाँ.
friends. They chill outside, not even at home. They chill outside. They eat dinner at around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. And they're
Hmm.
chilling till
Hmm.
2 a.m. every night. 1 a.m., 2 a.m. every night they're chilling. और सब खुला रहता है, सब ओपन में रहता है. 3
हाँ.
बजे सोता है ये लोग, 2:30-3 बजे, और
Hmm.
सुबह लाइक 8 बजे उठता है ये लोग, 7-8 बजे।
Hmm. Hmm.
ये लोग 5-6 घंटा ही सो रहा है। So
Bro.
turns out, according to statistics, like
हाँ.
Spanish people, like, they sleep very little compared
Hmm.
to other Europeans, because Europeans, like, in general, sleep quite a bit,
हाँ.
which just says a lot about their, like, the culture which affords them, and the reality of their economy and the countries that lets them do that. I don't think in America will ever let its people sleep that much. It's
I don't know.
just,
Maybe it's because of the climate too. Because it's so chilly there, people just crash
dude,
early. In the
स्पेन में चिली
winter, you're
नहीं है।
always drowsy.
So Spain में चिली है ही नहीं ना।
हाँ,
Spain is
स्पेन भी
like
नहीं
sunny
है क्या?
Spain. Iberian
हाँ, हाँ,
Peninsula,
हाँ,
which is your
हाँ,
Portugal and Spain, is
हाँ.
literally called sunny Spain.
Yeah.
Okay, like, I get it. I
Hmm.
get where you're coming from, but these people are just insane. Like what I saw, and if you compare it to the Japanese,
Hmm.
वो लोग तो भाई 14-14 घंटा minimum काम करता है. Like if you're working 12 hours a day, you're slacking off
Hmm.
in Japan.
Hmm.
And if you look at the Spanish, like 6 hours, like wow, बहुत कर लिया.
So if you
Like
think about it, if you start going from east to, sorry, is that east to west, right? Yeah. So east to west, okay, right before the Atlantic Ocean, where that's the cutoff. US is just separate. Okay, we're not counting
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Okay, from Japan towards Spain, people slowly begin to chill and chill gradually. So the peak it starts going up, and towards Spain, people are just chilling and having like living their lives. Okay,
Yeah.
when you think about it, Japanese people are working 15 hours. They slowly come to India. It's like 9 hours. Okay, Pakistan literally has no work right now. Okay,
No, उनको
and
कुछ
then you
no,
start
they
going
नहीं
towards.
नहीं नहीं, चल रहा है ऐसा ऐसा, वो आर्मी हेडक्वार्टर को तूने जलाया क्या रे?
Arey.
क्रेडिट वेयर ड्यू, हाँ, क्रेडिट वेयर ड्यू.
That's what I'm saying. No, when you don't have work, then I guess this is what you do. But then I had a very Indian reaction to it when you just mentioned this. When you mentioned कि अच्छा 9 से 2:30 बजे तक they work, which is literally 5.5 hours.
9 से 2:30
I
तो
had a
मेरे मीटिंग्स होते हैं.
bro, exactly right. So I had a very Indian reaction to it, thinking कि ये 5.5 घंटे ही काम करते हैं क्या? But then I think about it now, when you mentioned that they're chilling with their friends till 2 a.m., they're actually living their lives,
Yes,
right?
they're living
They're living their
lives.
lives.
Yeah, yeah. And they're living lives because our IT people are doing
Hmm.
most of their
Hmm.
background work.
Yeah, yeah, same
And
here.
they just have to do like the basic stuff. And of course, anyone who's ambitious will always work hard.
Hmm.
Okay. But
Hmm.
what European society affords is honestly that option that, bro, if you want to chill, you can chill.
Yeah, yeah.
Which an Indian society will just not give you for another 50 to 100 years.
Hmm.
That तेरे को chill मारने का है तो chill कर सकता है,
Hmm.
is
But
what
I
I
think
feel.
that is what's drawing a lot of Indians out of the country also. I think it
100%.
just made me think about it because if you remember in the last podcast, I had mentioned about a cousin who got married recently. So he lives in Dublin, and when we were catching up after a very long time, so I asked him, and I didn't have the opportunity to ask him what is the reason for him to move there, and he told me that because he couldn't cope up with the work pressure here in India. The work culture is very different, and he literally said this to me that maybe you should you know try living and working in a European country and probably realize the difference in cultures. India and the West are far apart.
I When my parents came back from Europe,
Hmm.
they went for a trip, they came back.
Yeah.
The first thing my father asked me was, "Why the fuck are you here?"
Hmm.
He's
Oh,
like,
is it?
"Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah." He asked me, "Why the fuck are you here?" I
Hmm.
was like, "नहीं नहीं, मेरा vacation में जाएगा, थोड़ा टाइम है,
Hmm.
but मैं
Hmm.
जाएगा."
Hmm.
He's like, "No, no, no.
To
Why are
live there.
you here?
Ah, ah.
You are not supposed to be here.
Hmm.
I know you. I know what you're capable of. You
Hmm.
deserve better."
Hmm. Hmm.
And this is a man who grew up in India,
Hmm.
worked in India, retired in India, पूरा
Hmm.
टैक्स पूरा दुनिया भर का इधर भरा है, सब किया, मेहनत
Hmm.
किया जिंदगी भर.
Hmm.
And he's like, dude, तू इधर मत रहे, कोई point नहीं है. Like
अच्छा.
just that and he was not impressed with like their
Hmm.
towers, like कितना
Hmm.
क्या building बनाया है.
Hmm.
He was like कि देख बस टाइम पे आ रहा है,
Hmm.
कितना क्लीन है, धूल नहीं है, लोग चीजें फॉलो कर रहे हैं, and he was just like, it was so different. And वो स्विट्जरलैंड वगैरह देख के तो they came back saying कि this is not even on planet earth. It was so beyond beautiful. And although they loved Kashmir equally,
Hmm.
but Kashmir ka there are other problems which, trust me,
अच्छा.
you won't find in Switzerland. Switzerland में मतलब ऐसा लोग ऐसा बंदूक लेके खड़ा नहीं रहता हर टूरिस्ट स्पॉट
Hmm.
पे,
Hmm. Hmm.
just to protect you. But yeah, you're completely right. I know but seniors from our college
Hmm.
who were earning like 35-40 lakhs per annum, and this is like not now.
Hmm.
35-40 lakhs per annum in 2019.
Oh, okay.
And this is a guy whose wife is also like earning a very good amount,
Okay.
okay, in India. इन
Mm-hmm.
दोनों का मिला के आई वुड से समवेयर अराउंड 60-70 lakhs per annum का ये था, टेक होम था. एंड डबल इनकम, नो किड्स, 60-70 lakhs per annum.
Mm.
एंड इनफैक्ट द वाइफ वाज सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड, तो उसको वो
Okay.
अलग से प्रेशर भी नहीं.
हाँ
शी वाज डूइंग व्हाट शी
हाँ
वाज डूइंग
हाँ
एंड क्लियरली वाज अर्निंग क्वाइट अ गुड अमाउंट.
हाँ.
एंड द हस्बैंड वाज लाइक, मैं यहाँ नहीं रह सकता,
अच्छा.
बिकॉज इतना प्रेशर डाल रहे काम का इस पे,
हाँ.
इतना प्रेशर डाल रहे, टारगेट लाओ, ये लाओ, वो लाओ.
Hmm.
And this is a guy who has like graduated from one of the top institutes of the country,
Hmm. Hmm.
and even he cannot guarantee कि he can live a peaceful life. In fact, that shit has put a target on his back कि
Hmm.
तेरा सैलरी इतना है ना, तेरा 10x हम निकालेंगे तेरे अंदर से. Okay, because anyway, India is a quantity. In the Indian workplace, in my eyes,
Hmm.
is a very quantity-driven workplace. It's not a quality-driven workplace.
हाँ. Hmm.
As you said, like कि सिर्फ 5.5 घंटा काम कर रहा है. In Europe, वो आदमी 4 घंटा काम करेगा, but वो 20 घंटे का productivity डालेगा उसमें.
हाँ.
I think productivity is a huge problem in India because things that can be done very quickly cannot be done in India because there are so many cooks in the kitchen, for even the smallest of projects.
Hmm.
And I would say our top management, more or less, not in every company, I would say,
Hmm.
they're very hands on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Micromanagement is considered a trait in our
Hmm.
country. कि
Hmm.
अरे वाह देखो घुस जाता है काम में. अरे
Hmm.
नहीं घुसना होता,
Hmm.
नहीं घुसना होता. I mean, you must have seen that HDFC का viral video which
Yeah.
went
Yeah.
out. Like
Hmm.
HDFC even came out with a statement saying, "Hey, we have suspended the sales guy," and he was like, he was just yelling at his people. Like it was hilarious to watch, and I did not even. I mean, not hilarious in like in a sense of Schadenfreude. It's just that
Hmm.
he was so gimmicky. But
Hmm.
if you have been in an organization where you have actually seen sales reviews,
Hmm. Hmm.
he was doing nothing that is, like even close to the worst I have seen. Not even
Hmm.
close. The
Hmm.
fact that he wasn't even abusing people was a surprise to me. A pleasant fun, to be very honest. So, yeah,
Yeah, it was mad to see him going on like that. So I get it where you're coming from when Indian companies always have expected 10x out of all of their employees, right? But when I looked at when I watched the video, okay, um, I always thought that, and that's what I was discussing with my colleagues also earlier today, that there's also like a respectful way of putting things. I get it, you have expectations, right? You work with the employee and try and figure out the what is it the best that can be done, right? I mean, uh, I remember that he was hammering to the point that every person on that call had to sell like 75 insurance policies in a day, which I don't know if it's a ridiculous number, but I know for a fact because I've managed insurance as a product, is that it's one of the most difficult products to sell,
of course it
right?
is.
It's not really easy. And then 75 insurance policies, I don't know how did they arrive at that number. But then, any which way, if it's a problem where you realize that your employees are not able to meet target, maybe you work with that employee and try and figure out why they're not able to do it, right? Rather than just yelling and putting additional pressure, because just no good is going to come out of it, राइट. अगर तुम डंडा दिखा के बच्चे को बोलोगे कि यार तू प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व क्यों नहीं कर रहा है, आई डोंट थिंक मैजिकली वो बच्चा सॉल्व कर पाएगा. rather than if you take that effort and time to teach your kid how to solve it, maybe they'll be able to do it. Every
True.
time I think about this is right, everybody is drawing salary from an organization. Ev- you know what the boss's mentality or typical boss's mentality is, that everybody beneath me is inherently lazy. I'm the only one who's working hard. Everyone beneath me is inherently lazy. Company तो ऐसे ही चल रही है. Yeah, that's a very wrong attitude, very wrong approach, according to me. And that's not it should be. Even if you're up the hierarchy, okay, maybe you're general for a reason, but you were a soldier also once upon a time. Maybe you've also gone through the same shit, right? So maybe work with your soldier or your employee rather, and try and figure out. I mean, that is why you're called a team in the first place. बोलने के लिए team नहीं है ना. You're a team for a reason. That's why they call you a team.
Yeah.
So you captain the ship. It's not like धोनी बोल रहा है विकेट चाहिए विकेट चाहिए. He legit tells his bowlers how to bowl and where to bowl, right? It's not like इसे magically आ जाता है कि नहीं कुलदीप यादव को बोल रहे तू विकेट क्यों नहीं ले रहा है, कब से छक्का खा रहा है. वो बोलता है यार तू इधर बोल रहा है इधर से डंडा निकलेगा.
Yeah.
That's
I
my
mean,
take on it.
yeah, that's brilliant because it reminds me. I have had bosses who have just told me, get this, get this number.
Hmm.
I'm like, what? Like, kahan se lao main? Like, what are you even talking about?
Hmm.
But then, after a point of time, these bosses are so one dimensional, and I'll tell you why.
Hmm.
In India, you are promoted because you get the numbers,
Right.
and that's all that matters. As I said, we are a quantity based country, we are
Hmm.
not a quality based country. I'm
Hmm.
not saying that you shouldn't promote people who get the numbers or
Hmm.
you should
Hmm.
promote people who don't get the numbers. No, no, no.
Hmm.
Strike a balance,
Hmm.
because these people who get the numbers, they are great individual contributors.
Hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But they have not the slightest idea how to be a good, manager.
Exactly.
Tell me, even once, have you ever heard any manager training happening? Ki, this is how you should be managing a team, like a company
Not really.
taking conscious effort in that. And if you think about it, after a point of time, a company is nothing but managing people.
Hmm.
It is nothing but that. And
Hmm.
I have seen this, that I have never seen, in fact, Indian companies focus on training its managers, that this is how you're supposed to manage your own people. So, and I think all the training is, like involuntary,
Hmm.
कि हाँ, मेरे बॉस भी वही करते हैं, बॉस के बॉस भी वही करते हैं, तो मैं भी वही करूंगा. We
Hmm.
learn by imitation, right? Imitation and repetition. So that is what happens. So these people, when they go on the top, they don't know any other way other than yelling at people,
Right.
because
You
and
know,
repeating the same points again and again and again.
that's a good point you made because then makes me think that there's a very people often forget that there's a very fine distinction between an achiever, right, and a leader, right. Not necessarily an achiever will always be a leader, right. I mean that's a very I don't know, maybe it's just globally how people think, but then for anybody who's achieving we just automatically think ये तो लीड भी कर पाएगा. अगर ये अकेला अचीव कर रहा है तो ये कलेक्टिव के लिए भी अचीव कर सकता है. आई थिंक दैट्स अ वेरी wrong way of approaching.
No, I think it is also on a macro level. If you zoom out a little,
Uh,
I'm playing the devil's advocate over here.
mm,
The top management must be thinking, we have
mm,
so many people,
mm,
why don't we just throw people at the problem? If we just promote 10 people, उसमें से दो लोग भी अच्छा निकल गया,
uh,
they will cover up for the other 8.
mm,
Correct. As I said, we are a quantity based society.
mm,
We look at things कि भाई ये दो तीन लोग सही निकल गए, बाकी के काम चलाओ में हम कर लेंगे.
mm,
Okay. So I feel कि there is no incentive for companies in India to genuinely have a great work environment.
mm,
Because they're like, क्या करूँ मैं, वैसे भी तेरे में इन्वेस्ट करके क्या करूँ. मेरा economics makes sense when I'm churning
mm,
people.
mm,
I keep getting new people. Of course,
mm,
the people who are decision makers में अगर churning हुआ, then it's a problem.
mm.
But at the execution level, I don't think so.
I think you're right in a way because then again you think about it there's just plenty of us. अगर एक जाएगा तो दूसरा आएगा. So
Yeah,
there's no dearth of us, right? There's
yeah,
plenty of resources out there. किसी को भी पैसा फेंकेगी और दूसरा तो आना ही है, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
I read
yeah.
this very wonderful line. Someone commented under a tweet. Someone had shared this video. It was a wonderful line. I think it was from a Satyajit Ray movie, and it was a still from a scene. Okay, and the line underneath was that, uh, you know, our daily because we earn daily bread and butter. That is what made us cowards. The fact that nobody also stood up to the boss, okay, the harsh treatment or the disrespect, also, you know, is indicates to the fact that everybody was scared because when mera job jayega, everybody also knows in their mind that they're replaceable. So yeah,
आधे लोगों का तो होम लोन है भाई. आधे
exactly.
लोगों का तो होम लोन है. ठीक है. एक तो इंडिया में सबने होम लोन, मतलब घर खुद का होना चाहिए वाला प्रोपेगेंडा
Hmm.
तो 4 साल के होते तब से ही होता है. एंड द मोमेंट यू टेक अ होम लोन ईएमआई, यू आर
Hmm.
डन. यू
Hmm.
आर एसेंशियली, यू आर ऑन अ प्रेयर
Hmm.
कि आई जस्ट होप थिंग्स वर्क आउट ओवर हियर,
Hmm.
because if they don't, I have no other option, frankly. And if you think about it, a home loan, what it does is also it narrows down your geographic location also.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's like कि तूने मुंबई में घर ले लिया, तू बैंगलोर नहीं जा रहा है.
Hmm.
You're just not going.
Right.
Okay, it's almost impossible. And I think companies in India very well know that कि these people are not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
These people are not going to go anywhere. We have them, and we have many of them. Not a problem at all. डंडा
Mm.
कर करके नंबर निकलवा दो, कोई इंसेंटिव नहीं है क्वालिटी में इन्वेस्ट करके. You
Mm.
know what's the problem with quality? You become more efficient, and suddenly you are employing less people,
Exactly.
which is not
True.
good for a country like
True.
ours. Which is not good for a country like ours. And like many of these companies, they get land at a subsidized rate because they're
Yeah.
telling they're telling the government, hey, look at us, we are generating so much employment.
Employment. Yeah.
Correct. The moment you become efficient,
Mm.
खत्म हो गया ना तुम्हारा वो. That entire argument goes out of the window. So you
Mm.
might as well hire 500 people extra, keep slogging them, and you get the SEZ may land for 10,000 rupees, which should cost you 10,000 crores, something of
Yeah.
that
True.
sort. So yeah, there is that. But yeah, enough of Indian workplace talks. What else is going on? What are you watching, looking at, like anything
So,
interesting?
recently, I think it's also sort of a segue only into what I'm watching these days. So there's this show called Fresh Off the Boat on Hotstar.
Hmm.
Uh, Funny as hell, very light-hearted comedy. Okay, not like Friends or Big Bang or whatever. So it's about a Taiwanese family. So a couple from Taiwan. Okay, they moved to the US. They started life, and of course they have their kids over there. So they're born and raised there. The kids, they're born and raised in Washington D.C. and then they moved to Orlando, Florida. So the show actually picks up from that point in their life where they moved to Orlando. They're trying to adjust to the neighborhood, and they're also trying to show their challenges and struggles as Taiwanese parents trying to raise their kids and trying to give their kids the American life and opportunities. So hilarious, okay, because the mom and dad are Chinese to the core, right? But then also they're trying to give their kids the American life. So funny as hell, very light-hearted comedy. I love watching it, whenever I'm eating dinner. So that show ran for 6 seasons, okay. And I was reading this about the actress because she looked very familiar, and then I realized that she was the lead actress in Crazy Rich Asians. You see that movie? Okay, that's a mad movie altogether.
I've seen it.
Yeah. So I was reading about the actress Constance Wu. Towards 6 season, okay. So when I think it was on HBO initially when they first aired. When HBO renewed the show, she threw a fit, okay, on Twitter and everywhere, saying that God, I don't know why they've renewed the show. Apparently, the reason for that was that she was also working on a project which had to be kind of, I think, stalled or shelved or something because of the renewal, and she was very upset about it, okay. But then a lot of people went back, especially Asian Americans, who made it big in Hollywood, gave her a lot of heat back for the fit that she threw on Twitter and everywhere on the internet, to the point that someone actually said that she brought shame to the Asian American community over there. Okay, and she felt so bad. Okay, on the inside, although she says that she what she did now in the hindsight, she thinks about it that it was not the appropriate behavior. But then she was pushed to the point that she was ready to jump off the fifth floor of a building. That's when one of her friends actually caught hold of her and pulled her back. Okay, and then she underwent counseling and therapy, and she got back then. I think she's doing some amazing stuff now. She's working on some movies and other projects that she really likes. But then because of that, they eventually canceled the show. And it's a good show
Wow.
though. Yeah. I mean, I on Facebook Facebook kept throwing all these clips from the show very regularly to me. I found them hilarious, so I thought I'd look it up. Initially, my idea was to try and figure out कौन से OTT पे है, but then even maybe it's a blessing that it's still on Hotstar, and I think it was on HBO only because a lot of HBO shows are actually on Hotstar. So yeah, it's a funny show. Maybe you should check it out. I think
Is it still
it
on
was
Hotstar, is what you're saying?
yeah, it still is, yeah.
Okay.
Before that, I
कुछ
thought
तो है
I'd watch
Hotstar
it,
पे.
finish it off before Hotstar takes it off.
Yeah,
क्योंकि
थर्टी
भी
फर्स्ट
जाएगा
मार्च was the
Hotstar पे वो
deadline.
निकाल लेते हैं.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Succession ended, the
हाँ,
series. I hope you have started watching Succession.
yeah, not yet.
Please watch it. You started?
No, no, I'm watching Fresh on the Board right now, so maybe after that.
नहीं 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 तू देख Succession थोड़ा start कर. You will binge watch the hell out of it. Trust me
Okay,
on that.
okay.
It's incredible. It is incredible. It is one of the best shows of all time. Simply. The
mm,
star cast is incredible, and they have just acted the hell out of every role. Every role. There's not one bad actor. Not
mm,
one bad actor. It's incredible. I'm
mm,
finishing off Schitt's Creek. I'm on the
mm,
last season, you
mm,
know. So let's just looking forward to how it's gonna end. I never thought I'll enjoy Schitt's Creek. I think I saw like the first couple of episodes and I was
uh-huh,
like,
uh-huh,
okay, so what? Why should I care about these people?
mm,
But then they grew on to me. So Schitt's Creek is something which I'm really enjoying.
mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, it makes you think about it every time someone watches a show and they really like it. Everyone goes off saying this is the best show ever, which makes me think then which is the best show ever. If
it's
I had to
simple. It's
ask you,
Breaking
okay,
Bad.
if I tell you, okay, Acha, just pick one show, that's the only show that you'll get to watch in, for the rest of your life, that you absolutely would be okay watching, and which would that be?
And that's a separate, two separate questions. The best show and the show you will continue watching
You
for
know
the
what?
rest
Let's
of
just
your
go with
life
the
only.
second question because then eventually
Then it's
you would pick
Friends.
the best show.
No, no, then it's Friends. Those are two different questions because the
No,
best
it can't be
show
right.
ever.
Say
No, no,
if you
I'll
think
tell you.
about, uh,
Hmm. The best show ever has to be Breaking Bad.
hmm.
Breaking Bad is literally the best show ever. But if you're gonna tell me, okay, you have to watch it three times more, I'll just shoot myself. I can't do that.
Now,
It's
how does it
it's
make
like
it to the
it's
best show then?
no, no, it is the best show because it is the best show. Like it has the best story, best
Hmm,
performances,
hmm,
but it's a very heavy watch. It's a very heavy watch.
hmm,
You can't always watch it. Okay, like, and it's
hmm,
very slow. The first two, three seasons,
hmm, hmm,
it is extremely slow, but it's iconic. There are moments of Breaking Bad that are
hmm,
imprinted on my brain.
hmm,
Okay, like even now
hmm,
I close my eyes, I see season one ka ending.
hmm,
Okay, I see season two ka ending, of course,
hmm,
season five B
hmm,
part B ka
hmm,
ending. I've seen those and I'm like, what an incredible show. Okay, but if you are going to tell me, okay, yahi show har din dekhne ka,
ah,
okay, it's like a torture sort of a thing if you think about
hmm,
it.
hmm,
I'm like, bro, Friends, parvadega mere ko. I'll watch
hmm,
Friends, or
hmm,
even The Office gets to you after a point of time.
hmm,
Friends is easy, it's popcorn,
hmm.
it's simple, you know. I think so that way. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but no man, I love Friends. I just love it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there who hate Friends, right? I don't know
Hmm.
why. I mean, it's a
No, it's
it's
a
a show, right? It's
reactionary
a very
thing.
regular
No,
show.
it's reactionary. The
Hmm,
reason they hate Friends is because they
hmm,
love to hate on something popular. Listen, you can say, okay, I don't like Friends,
hmm,
but if you're gonna say I hate Friends, that is when
hmm,
I know, okay, you're not serious. Then it's a reactionary take.
hmm.
Okay, then it's a reactionary take. You can say, hey, I hate the Indian version of The Office. Now that's an understandable statement because they have
Which was that?
completely butchered
Yeah,
it.
oh, the one
Exactly,
on
exactly.
no, they made a remake. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, they made a remake. I think it was on Hotstar only. I
Ah,
think it
yeah.
was on Hotstar only, and no one. See, Indians cannot adopt foreign shows.
Hmm,
We can adopt foreign movies. We
hmm,
cannot adopt foreign shows because
hmm,
our humor is completely different. Okay, Indian humor is
hmm,
completely different, and I don't think we have talented क्या बोलते हैं writers who can do it, or maybe if we do have talented writers,
hmm,
I don't think our network executives allow the true interpretation of an Indian office.
hmm. I don't think Indians can, like Indian filmmakers or show makers can also adapt Hollywood movies.
Hmm.
It's just that we can endure that torture for 2.5 hours or 3 hours and get done with it. For a show, you have to sit
That's
through, right? So I don't think Indians in general can adapt anything, okay,
that's
except
true.
for Southern movies. So earlier on Sunday I was watching Gumrah, starring Aditya Roy Kapoor, and then it was moving very nicely. Okay, it's a mystery suspense, जो भी है murder mystery है. It's moving very nicely. I'm thinking to myself, यार ये इतना बढ़िया movie है. There's no chance Bollywood's written it. There's absolutely no chance. I was watching this in a flatmate. I told him I can bet my money on the fact that it's a remake. Okay, finish the movie. I look it up on the internet. Guess what? It's a remake. It's a Tamil movie remake. I'm like, क्या हो रहा है?
Do you remember? I remember 10 years ago I had posted on Facebook. Now what I had posted was XYZ, this is so bad, it's like a South Indian movie. 10 years ago, we all looked up down upon South Indian movies, most
Yeah.
of them, because they were a joke. They were known for being, completely exaggerated. They were known for being like having like extravagant dance numbers that were out of place, and it's just like they were the corny, and even the VFX wasn't good, and it was considered low tier, and it was meme quality.
Did you watch
Okay,
it in Setmax?
yeah, all of them, right? Both Set
Exactly.
Max.
So
I
I hold Setmax accountable for this. Okay, they are at fault for feeding us all the kachra nonsense movies. Okay,
Yeah,
and holding back all the
the good
brilliant movies.
ones.
Okay,
Yeah,
there's a whole lot of good movies
yeah,
from the southern part of India, all the states, and it's just that Setmax is at fault. Okay, for feeding us all the kachra. Yeah, and we always
yes.
thought in our minds कि अच्छा southern movies तो ऐसे ही
हाँ,
होता है,
ऐसे
over
ही
the
होता
top and
है.
all. Okay.
हाँ, but
Hmm.
what is so sad is how Bollywood has gone down. Have
Hmm.
you watched Pathan? It was
I did.
pathetic.
I did.
You
I
compare
did.
it to what was that movie? Itna Pushpa. What was that Pushpa? Yeah? What was the name of
Yeah,
the movie?
Pushpa. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Pushpa the
like
Rise.
yeah,
Yeah.
the rise. Yeah,
Mm.
compare that to Pathan. Pathan was like a school project. It was pathetic. It was purely because Shahrukh Khan came and said,
They
"Ki
just
mera."
made money of Shahrukh Khan. Yeah, yeah. And
Yes,
it was
that's
purely
it.
for that. Everyone rather, okay, went to the theaters only for Shahrukh Khan. I think I didn't. I'm sorry, I don't know the director's name. I'm forgetting his name.
Exactly.
He was actually trying to credit the story, but I completely disagree. I very thoroughly disagree. Okay, everybody went to the theaters only for Shahrukh Khan. Okay, they made money off Shahrukh Khan literally. That's it. Okay, so yeah.
See, that is fine. That is Shahrukh's job.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
But then this reminds me of Sir Alex Ferguson at Manchester United, right? कि एक बार वो चले गए तो वो पूरा क्लब
Ah,
मतलब मौत पे आ गया है.
yeah.
मतलब एवरी ईयर वी फील कि हाँ अभी कुछ होगा, अभी कुछ नहीं होता.
कुछ नहीं
ठीक
होता.
है. I think Bollywood is now reaching a point where like superstars are going away.
Hmm.
5 more years and none of these people are going to do what they're doing right now.
Hmm.
Who's going to be the next line of actors who are going to be like मेरे दम पे 200 करोड़ या 400 करोड़ आएगा. Dude, Karthik Aryan is a great actor. मतलब great entertainer. He's not a great actor.
Hmm. Hmm.
He's a great entertainer. Bhool Bhulaiya was a brilliant movie. Bhool
Hmm.
Bhulaiya 2 was very very
Hmm.
funny. मेरे को बहुत मजा आया. Very entertaining.
Hmm.
But it also like required other people to pull it. Like the
Hmm.
story was good. Tabu was incredible. Okay, like and वो T series का promotion तो है ही. But can this man take a shit movie like Pathan and be like मैंने चलाया है?
No, bro. In fact, for Bhool Bhulaiya, no, it actually was riding on Bhool Bhulaiya 1's success, rather, I would say. Okay, because it's
Exactly.
a fantastic movie, the first one you watched. Again, that is also a remake. Okay, it's not like
Yeah.
it's an original. Again, it's a remake. But again, the Hindi version also very funny. Nice, a good watch rather. So, the part two was riding on success of that. Everybody thought that okay, for whatever they witnessed in part one, okay, would happen in part two as well. So उसी पे तो पैसा बना है. And then to your question, then who's going to be the next superstar or whatever? I don't think we're done. मतलब वो खत्म हो गया है. I don't think there's going to be ever a superstar. And also, if you had the opportunity, maybe if Taran Adarsh would have been a part of this conversation, you probably broken this down for us
Hmm.
as to how the business works here,
Hmm.
because now they have a whole lot of opportunities. They don't have to get a lot of screens and do a lot of screenings. Rather, they can just push it on OTT and still make money off it. Okay, in fact, from what I understand, a lot of movies actually recover their money, okay, whatever investment they had, through OTTs and rights, even before it hits the theaters.
Did you see Apple launching Apple Vision Pro?
Mm, Not that I'm aware of, but again, I'm not an Apple fanboy, so I
Yeah, neither am
wouldn't
I. But
care.
see, neither am I. I'm the last person who you would call an Apple fanboy. But let me tell you something. Apple has reinvigorated
Hmm.
the AR, MR, VR debate, and basically artificial reality, mixed reality, virtual reality. What Meta tried to do, Zuckerberg ने पूरा दुनिया उस पे डाल दिया कि we'll create the metaverse.
Hmm.
Apple just straight up came in and said nobody wants to go into your stupid metaverse. Okay, we are going to give you a platform that can change your existing reality for a certain period of time. That's about it. Okay, and while the reality is there, it will be there. It's called spatial computing. Okay,
Okay.
what your space is, You know how
Yeah.
we see it in movies, right? Like people are wearing glasses and they move their
Ah, ah,
hands
ah,
and
ah,
some
ah.
dashboard comes up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They have actually made it possible.
Oh.
Yes, sir. You can take video calls from it. Now you will
Hmm.
be like, video calls का क्या है वो तो कोई भी कर सकता है.
Hmm.
But while you're doing it, everyone is going to stare at the same, like virtual screen in front of them, and that
Hmm.
screen will be so big it can take up your entire room. You can make a screen as big as a movie theater screen. It's
So
it's
I don't know.
insane.
There's just so much technology for me. It makes me think: is it going to fuck up our wiring? दिमाग पूरा ये हो जाएगा. मतलब,
That's a,
will you be ever be able to tell what is real and what's not?
I think we are past that at this point. But I know what you are exactly referring to. My answer is to the first question, which is, will it change our wiring? I think our wiring is already changed. Okay. I think our wiring changed the moment we wake up. All we want to do is check our phone. Before we sleep, the last thing you do, depending on your relationship status, is check your phone.
Hmm.
Irrespective of anything and everything, you check your phone. Okay. Irrespective of anything and everything. I mean, it's not even an addiction at this point. It's become part of your life. It's
Hmm.
become who you are, if you
Hmm.
think about it. Correct. um, this is like the unstoppable march towards
Hmm.
the inevitable reality that technology will rule over us, and you combine it with the rise of AI. Okay.
Yeah.
I do not see humanity coming out on top of this. And by that I don't mean, oh, the machines are going to take over. No, of course the machines are going to take over,
Hmm.
but there's time for that. But what it is definitely going to do is it's going to kill away a lot of jobs at the bottom of the pyramid. Okay. And somewhere we all believe, हाँ हम तो bottom में नहीं है. This is human nature, right? अरे मैं तो बहुत छाड़ा है bro, मेरे को सब आता है. That's the belief. But what it will do is suddenly technology is pushing you towards universal basic income, because it will become impossible to employ everyone. It will
Exactly.
become impossible to employ everyone. And if you don't give people that basic income, that regular basic income, which is welfare,
Hmm.
these people are going to turn into a political problem, into a
Hmm.
social problem. All because some dude sat in San Francisco and decided, नहीं यार थोड़ा ज़्यादा time लग रहा है data निकालने
Hmm.
में. So I think, and I think just Apple doing what it has done, and people are saying ki oh, Meta did this 2 years ago and it is selling the same shit for $600. These people are selling it for $3,500.
Hmm.
Like, no, sir, this is different. This is, and
$3,500 is a lot, no?
I know it is the lot, and Apple is selling it at only $600. The,
You know, the 3 lakh रुपए होता है.
yeah, 3 lakh. 3 lakh pakad lo.
है ना?
It's 3 lakh
3
rupees.
lakh
And
rupees.
firstly, it's not wireless. It is wired.
उसमें भी फिर क्या
उसमें
करेगा?
भी
वायर
wired.
निकाल देगा, बाद में बोलेगा ये 50,000 में वायर ले लो.
I'm not even kidding. I think they're going to do that. They're going to sell the charges separately. I'm pretty sure they're going to do that. So,
Okay.
but here's the thing, right? I'm not talking about it from today's perspective. आज $3,500 का है. 3 साल बाद कम होगा ना? And who said Apple is the only one who's going to come up with something? वो तो iOS का कर रहा है. iOS is 10-20% of the market. Less than that, 15% of the market. 80% तो Android है. उसके लिए आएगा ना भाई, गूगल भी तो आएगा,
आएगा.
फेसबुक भी तो आएगा. And Facebook has already invested much more than others. And
Yeah.
Facebook is smart. They're like, India में बेचने का है मेरे को. Facebook is not, we're not going to sell it at $3,500, dude. Facebook will sell it at like 25,000 rupees max. Facebook will tie up with like big companies, and like they'll be like, okay, for your top executives, you can come via these things and shit. And dude, people like you and me,
Motorway must be on it already.
yeah, dude, there is already a Geo ka virtual device, just by the way, and it comes for
Huh?
1,100 rupees. Okay.
What do you say?
Yes, जाके check कर लियो, जियो का है.
Hmm.
Okay, but it
Hmm.
is like a gimmick. Okay, it's a gimmick. वो क्या है कि IPL देख सकते हो उसमें. It feels like you're actually in the stadium. But I genuinely feel this whole Apple thingy, okay,
Hmm.
that you are
Hmm.
seeing, the Apple
Hmm.
Vision Pro, it
Hmm.
will be adopted by IPL and EPL and
Hmm.
all these big Super Bowls and all very soon.
Hmm.
तू घर पे and I think they're gonna screw up the TV industry. You should genuinely watch
Mm.
uh, the Vision Pro ka ad. You should
Mm.
watch it. Some people are also calling it dystopian, but I don't know.
Mm.
I think I've spoken long enough on this. Like, I wanted your thoughts on this.
आई एम अ सिंपल मैन विथ सिंपल मीन्स। मेरे को इसमें मजा था कि आईपीएल पंजाबी में आ रहा है। या आई हैड अ ब्लास्ट लिसनिंग टू द कमेंट्री द अदर डे, फाइनल मैच जब हो रहा था आईपीएल का और पंजाबी में हो रहा था। आई हैड अ ब्लास्ट। ठीक है, आई थिंक दैट्स द बेस्ट थिंग दैट हैज कम आउट ऑफ द होल जियो सेटअप, द पैकेज दैट आई बॉट। एंड देन उसके बगल में भोजपुरी का भी ऑप्शन था, उसमें कैमरास का भी ऑप्शन था, बट आई एब्सोल्युटली डिडंट लाइक इट। आई थिंक लाइव एक्शन जो मेन कैम में दिखाते हैं दैट्स द बेस्ट। बट या आई मीन आई डोंट नो मैं इतना टेक्नोलॉजी का क्या करूँ।
No, 5 years down the line, whether you like it or not, we are going to have meetings in those devices. Whether you like it or not, we are going to have meetings in those devices. It is what it is. And वो वॉली में दिखाया था ना कि ऐसे बैठे रहते हैं पूरा टाइम, कुछ ना कुछ चालू रहता है. So that's definitely going to happen. But I also think what they are going to do is, like, the government will come up with some regulation
Oh, they
that you
have to.
cannot have so much technology at, or is it even possible to stop it? I don't know. I just want to end on this note that I feel that movies play a big role in our lives, because now I'm finally understanding what it means to go to watch a movie that is going to, दिमाग घर पे रख के आ वाला मूवी वो हमेशा बोलते थे, एंड अभी भी बोलते हैं कि हाँ, डोंट यूज लॉजिक व्हेन यू आर वाचिंग दिस मूवी, डोंट लुक एट लॉजिक. नाउ आई अंडरस्टैंड व्हाई. बिकॉज इतना कुछ ना कुछ चालू रहता है लाइफ में. व्हेन यू गो टू अ मूवी थिएटर, यू डोंट वांट टू वॉच समथिंग डिप्रेसिंग यार, you know. So
Yeah.
I guess, like, that is, I was a when I was young, I was like कि नहीं, मतलब, मूवी में ऐसा दम होना चाहिए. What are these bubblegum movies people are watching? Now I'm like, no, I want only bubblegum movie. Like,
Yeah.
I've become that uncle now. But it is what it is. And which reminds me, there are 3 movies coming up which I'm really looking forward to. Oppenheimer first, Mission Impossible second, Barbie third. So these 3 movies definitely I am looking forward to.
बॉस
What
सिर्फ
are
वो
you going to watch
स्पॉन्सरशिप
these?
मिला क्या पॉडकास्ट के लिए?
No, it is just me being like fangirling over all these things. So all
Barbie, तो
these
I
movies.
definitely want to watch. I'm not ashamed to admit. Barbie is
Yeah,
definitely
yeah, Barbie,
one movie
Barbie.
that I was looking forward to. Oppenheimer, yes. And then, oh, Mission Impossible reminds me of the stunt. I must have seen on social media. There was mad. Was someone
10
his
million
age at
views just on
60?
that stunt, dude.
Yeah, and he did that like 6 times to get it right or something because कुछ feel नहीं आ रहा था bike का or something. He did it
Yeah,
six
Tom
times.
Cruise is like, I can hold on to the bike longer. In his first take,
Ah,
he's like, I left the bike early. He's like, I can hold on to the bike a little longer. So when you see that, it's like, bro, this is Tom Cruise. Like, he's crazy. He's the last great movie star. Like खुद का stunt करता है, कुछ भी stunt करता है. And he's very focused, he's very determined, and he loves cinema. And which reminds me, speaking of this is cinema, Martin Scorsese का भी The Flowers of the Rising Moon आ रहा है शायद से.
अच्छा.
So yeah, so वो एक मूवी देखना पड़ेगा. It's based on the Oklahoma oil wars. So it's based on
Oh,
that.
okay.
Now I don't know much about it, but I'm pretty sure, like, if it has Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, Martin Scorsese, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a beautiful watch. It's gonna be 3 hours long, so obviously I'm not gonna watch it in the theater because my wife is gonna sleep. So I think अपन लोग जा सकते चाहिए
जा
तो.
सकते हैं.
Yeah, अपन जा सकते हैं. But I don't know if it's a theater movie or not. I don't know. Because Scorsese का मूवी मतलब है, लंबा चलता है, काफी रुकता है. So खा पी के जाना पड़ेगा उधर.
आयरिशमैन देखने में मेरे को 3 दिन लगा.
Bro,
It's a good movie,
Irishman,
but I don't know for some odd reason I just sleep through it
yeah,
and
yeah,
then wake up to
Irishman
realize
was
यार ये खत्म
boring.
हो गया.
Irishman was boring, and you were waiting कि okay, now it's gonna pick up, now it's gonna pick up. Tempo अभी ऐसा हो बढ़ेगा थोड़ा. And then you realize they never wanted to do that. They never wanted to raise the tempo, and that was the movie all about, you know. And I
You
was
think
like, and
Scorsese's
I watched
overdone
it,
it then? With the
huh?
setup and the kind of story, Scorsese's overdone it. We probably shouldn't have high hopes from this movie because then
Yeah.
Scorsese same star cast. Okay, very similar setups, mafia, mob, this that. An Irishman, if you're telling me you found it boring,
Yeah,
then I don't know what is there to look forward to. I mean, I don't.
dude,
And what
this
I'm
is
saying is, I don't have high hopes of this movie.
yeah, there will be blood देखा है ना. So
Hmm.
डैनियल डे ल्यूइस का देयर विल
हाँ,
बी ब्लड.
हाँ,
तो सेम कॉन्सेप्ट है इसमें. वो अमेरिका में
okay.
ऑयल है एंड पीपल
Hmm,
आर
hmm,
फाइटिंग फॉर सुप्रीमेसी ओवर दैट.
hmm, hmm, hmm,
So I would say I'm looking forward to the movie, but I don't think it's a theater movie because Irishman मैंने plane में देखा था, and
hmm.
even then I couldn't, like, you have nothing else to do on a plane,
अरे
and I was
बढ़िया है ना,
just
तो
like,
प्लेन में
bro,
सो गया रहेगा.
I no, I was so irritated. I was like, "Jaldi kar, bhai. हाँ, I got your point." But then again, there are these true cinema lovers who must be hating on us right now. But it is what it is. But I see 2023 to be a very good year for people who love movies. And I look forward. अपन देखते हैं ना एक साथ में. When was the last time we watched a movie together, man? It was longer. During Bajaj, I think.
I don't know. I remember
I
asking
remember watching
Spurti,
it
and she
once
kept
with you.
on saying that you guys had something coming up some weekend, and
Dude,
okay,
every
let's.
weekend we have something coming up, frankly. Okay? Every weekend we have something coming up. So, anyway, yeah, man, it was great catching up with you. Thanks a lot, Dhawal, for joining Polke Bowl once again. Let's do this soon. And next time, I know this time we had some serious topics. It
Hmm,
wasn't as like boisterous as usual,
hmm.
but I'm sure we can, next time we'll cover up for it, guys. Next time, let's do a meme review sort of a thing. Yeah, I think that's what the public wants. Let's look
Absolutely.
into that. Yeah. So thanks a lot, Dhawal, Pagla Potta. Thank you everyone for joining. This has been Polkeball. Take care. See you next time. See
Thanks.
ya.
Have a good one.